where you water it. The quiet town of Halewood had always been known for its pristine lawns, perfectly trimmed hedges, and charming white picket fences. But beneath the surface of this idyllic suburban life, secrets festered like weeds left unchecked. Emily Graves had just moved into Halewood with her husband, Michael. They were looking for a fresh start, a place where they could rebuild after years of tension and unspoken resentment. Their marriage had hit a breaking point, but Halewood felt like the kind of place where they could nurture it back to life. The house they'd purchased came with a sprawling, manicured lawn that the previous owner had taken great pride in. The lawn was a symbol of new beginnings. "You know what they say," their neighbor, Mrs. Sullivan, said one afternoon as Emily watered the grass. "The grass is greener where you water it." She gave a knowing smile, her eyes lingering on Emily's hose as if it were a weapon. That phrase stuck with Emily, though she didn't know why. There was something unsettling about it. Still, she took the advice to heart, diligently watering the lawn every day, hoping the metaphor would extend to her troubled relationship with Michael. But as the days passed, Emily began to notice strange things happening in the neighborhood. There were whispers about a family that had lived in their house before them, the Andersons. People said they had disappeared without a trace, leaving everything behind, including the flourishing garden. No one talked about it openly, but Emily heard enough to piece together a chilling story. The Andersons were perfect on the outside, loving, friendly, and close-knit. But after one night of strange, erratic behavior, they vanished. No bodies were ever found. One evening, while watering the lawn, Emily's hose hit a hard spot in the ground. Curious, she knelt down and scraped away the soil with her fingers. Her heart pounded as she uncovered what looked like a small, rusted metal box. Her instincts told her to leave it alone, but something deeper pushed her to open it. Inside, she found a collection of photographs, pictures of the Anderson family, smiling in front of the very same lawn. But there was something wrong. In every picture, the grass was a different color, patches of brown, sickly yellow, and deep green. Her curiosity quickly turned to dread. The final photograph in the box sent a chill down her spine. It was a picture of her own house, taken at night. The porch light was on, and a silhouette stood in the window. The date scrawled on the back of the photo was from 2 days ago. Emily hurried inside, clutching the photo, her mind racing. That night, she asked Michael if he had noticed anything strange about the neighborhood. He shrugged it off, his attention focused on a work email, but something in his eyes seemed distant, almost haunted. The next morning, Emily confronted Mrs. Sullivan. "What happened to the Andersons?" she demanded. Mrs. Sullivan hesitated, her usual smile faltering. "You shouldn't dig too deep, dear. Sometimes it's better to leave the past buried. After all, the grass is greener where you water it." Emily didn't know what to believe. She spent hours researching the Anderson family, combing through old newspapers and online forums. The deeper she dug, the more unsettling the town's history became. People had gone missing in Halewood for years, all centered around one peculiar detail, their perfectly maintained lawns. She began to notice how obsessed the neighbors were with their gardens. Everyone's grass was always lush and green, almost unnaturally so. And the ones who moved into the Anderson house, Emily's house, never seemed to stay long. That night, Emily couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, her mind replaying the strange events over and over. She got up and looked out the window, scanning the yard, the eerie glow of the moon illuminating the grass. That's when she saw it, a shadowy figure standing near the edge of their lawn, motionless. She rushed outside, grabbing the garden spade as she went. The figure was gone, but something felt off. She knelt down, digging at the patch of grass where the figure had been. Her hands moved faster, frantically ripping away at the earth. And then she felt it, a cold, hard surface, beneath the soil. Her breath caught in her throat as she unearthed a bone, then another. She realized, with growing horror, that she had found human remains. The Andersons hadn't disappeared, they had been buried, fed to the very earth that produced the lush, green lawn. Emily stumbled back, her mind reeling. She ran inside to wake Michael, but when she reached their bedroom, she found the bed empty. Panic set in. Where was he? A knock at the front door startled her. It was Mrs. Sullivan, holding a pair of gardening shears, her eyes gleaming with something sinister. "You see, Emily," she said softly, "we all have to water the grass. It's the only way to keep things green." From that night forward, Emily's once peaceful life in Halewood turned into a living nightmare. She never found Michael, and no one in the town seemed to care. Every morning, she watered the grass, just as the others did. The lawn thrived under her care, becoming greener and more beautiful by the day. But Emily knew the truth. Beneath the vibrant green surface, something dark and twisted grew, nourished by the secrets of the past. And the grass, indeed, was only greener where you watered it.